Hello, everyone. You probably have a pet like a dog or a cat, or some uncommon ones like a fish or a bird. Me personally, I have quite a few cats and a dog, and something that I noticed that after getting my first cat in 2016 is that my mental health or mental state has changed from compared to when I got my first cat, or before I got it. And something that I want to think about it or like explore is how can having a cat improve or have positive effects on human beings? So now we will look into the positive effects of on the mental health of humans of owning a cat and possibly mention some negative ones. So we know that the past few years has been pretty hectic as we were forced to stay home because of COVID-19 lockdowns in mid March of 2020, and that we had to stay inside as a result. So my first point is that cats can be a source of comfort during uncertain times like COVID-19 lockdowns. My first source comes from the University of Queensland, Australia, and what this source provides is that the effects of COVID-19 were exerting influence on mental health directly and via pet attachment, and parents and children who were feeling unsettled during the pandemic were gravitating towards pets to seek additional comfort. What this means is that because of the COVID-19 lockdown, and as a result of having to be surrounded by your family because you have to be inside because of the lockdowns for safety, parents and children were also gravitating towards their pets to seek comfort as a result of having to be inside. My next part of my first point is that as a result of this, cats can experience the effects of being surrounded by their owners and even change their behaviors. My next source for comes from the University of York, University of Lincoln, University College London, and Queen's University Belfast, all in the United Kingdom. What this source provides that approximately a third of companion animal owners report their cats and dogs increase their following behavior, and this was approximately twice the value of other species who would generally be considered less accustomed to free movement within the household. And that various forms of animal assisted intervention have been reported to increase human empathy and perceived social support may not only reduce stress but increase empathy. So, what this means is that as a result of being surrounded by animals or owning a pet, is that it can help reduce stress and increase compassion in humans. So that now we know the positive effects on mental health from owning a cat. Could there be any positive effects on physical health? So my next main point is that owning a cat can have effects on the mental and physical health of pregnant women. My next source comes from University of Toyama, which is in Japan, and that the first part of this point is that pregnant women tend to have different mental health side effects because of cats. That expectant mothers with poor mental health tend to have cats over dogs. That dog ownership was associated with reduced risk of anhedonia and anxiety, while cat ownership was associated with an increased risk of depressive episodes. So what this means is that expectant mothers who have poor mental health tend to have cats over dogs, and that cat ownership was an associated risk of increased risk of depressive episodes, and that dog ownership was associated with a reduced risk of anxiety and anhedonia. Another part of this is that pregnant women can experience some dangerous medical conditions as a result from cats. Pregnant women who live with a cat can be exposed to toxoplasmosis, which is a parasitic disease that can result in miscarriage, and that there's an increased risk of lung cancer in women who own a cat compared to women who do not have pets because of how thin the fur is. So, with the mental health benefits and how cats can affect pregnant women, could the self esteem of cat owners improve or change? with the improvement of mental health. So this leads into my next main point, which is that owning a cat can change the self-esteem of the owners. My next source comes from University Medical Center in Hamburg, Eppendorf in Hamburg, Germany, and that males may score slightly higher than females on self-esteem, and that it may also feature into relationship with pets. That female cat owners had a higher risk of depression, higher score of depression compared to male cat owners in one study, but did not find any effects on gender with interactions on for pet ownership and loneliness. And that the ownership, the age of ownership of pets can also be a factor in self-esteem. This same article from Germany mentioned that a study that's from the United States investigated that people aged 60 and older found more that cat owners reported significantly fewer depressive episodes than dog owners. And that source comes from University of Texas Health Science Center. And that another study that they mentioned is that a study from Norway investigated people 65 and older found higher depression scores and more negative self-health rate among cat owners than compared to dog owners and non-owners. And that is from the Nord Trøndelag University College in Stavanger in Norway. So to wrap this point up is that it depends on the person themselves and how they react to a pet, with how it could help them with their self-esteem. So the review of my main points is that owning a cat can be great for mental health, and that it also depends on how a person reacts to a pet and what they do for them. And my final remarks is that owning a cat can be a joy to have when you're alone or with others, and that owning a cat can also change your personality for better or for worse.